morning, all of you. My name is Arvind Gautam, working as assistant professor in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today's topic is software engineering, and we will discuss about the different models of software engineering. And first, our first model is software development life cycle. So, what is SDLC? So SDLC stands for a software development life cycle. It is a model. It is used for when we develop any type of software. So we have to develop a blueprint for that software so that we can easily create that system or design or software. So SDLC basically stand for software development life cycle. It is a set of planned activities for developing any software product, and uh, it is used for it is very important for when we developing any type of software. So SDLC divides all the tasks to be followed while developing a software into various phases, okay, which make the software most accurate and perfect. All the where all the requirements are maintained in a proper manner. And without SDLC, it become tough for software project managers to monitor the progress of the project. So with this model, we can manage all the tasks from its initial state to their final state. So there are some different phases of SDLC. Basically, there are stages that are: first is planning and requirements, analysis, designing, development and coding, testing, and last is development and maintenance. So these are the some basic phases of SDLC model where we in first stages that is the initial stage, and last stage is development and maintenance. So these are the stages of SDLC model. Stage 1 is planning and requirement analysis, where we done the planning, we done the define project, what is the scope of the project, and we have to set the objective and what are the goals of our project, and we have to plan the resource. And stage 2 defining, we have to define the requirements, where what is the functional requirement, what is technical requirements, and what is the reviews. Okay. Third is design, where have different types of design we have to use in when we developing the software. Just like HLD, LLD, and stage 4 in development phase, we have to what is the coding standard, what is the version, and what is the code review. And stage 5 the testing, where we have to system testing, manual testing, and we have to done automated testing with the help of different kinds of tool. And stage 6 is development and maintenance. Development and maintenance, where we have to develop, where we have to uh, deployment and maintenance. We have to done release planning. We have to release the planning, deployment, automated maintenance, and we have to maintain the software product and what is the feedback. So first stage is planning and requirements. In this phase, it is the first and the most important phase of SDLC. In this phase, the business analyst collects the client's requirements. What is the client's requirements, and the client, we have to provide what is their what are their requirements, and which type of software, and what is the designing the client will give the uh, company for the developing the software. Based on that information, it is then used to plan the basic project approach, expenditure, what is the expenditure, what is the risk analysis, what is the technical analysis. And after planning, a document is prepared, that is business requirement specification. And in analysis phase, once the requirement analysis is completed, next step is to make SRS, that is software requirement specification, where all the requirements of the client are managed in a proper way. Okay. SRS document consists of all the product requirements to be designed and developed during the project. And on the basis of the SRS document, the functional requirement specification, what is the functional requirement specification, and what is technical requirement specification, and this type of requirements are to be managed in the SRS document. And in the designing phase, based on the requirement specification specified in SRS, product architecture is proposed and a document is made, that is design document specification. And after that, system architecture will convert the design into LLD, that is low level design, and HLD, that is high level design, which can be done by the third party application if it is required. And development phase, where the coding basically is done. So the coding of the project is started as per DDS during this stage, and DDS help in coding for accomplishing the project without much hassle. Developers must follow the coding guidelines defined by their organization or manager, and programming tools like compilers, interpreters, what is debuggers are used to generate the code. And here different high level programming languages are used, just like C, C++, Pascal, Java and PHP are used for the coding in the development phase. And in this testing phase, here this stage refers to the testing of the software, where what is the defects are reported, and different stages can be tracked, and the debugs are fixed and retested until the product reaches the quality standards that is defined in the SRS document. And testing can be done manually and or by using a different kinds of tool, that is automation tools, so that the final product will be developed in proper standards. And next stage is deployment and maintenance. In development phase, once the product is tested and ready to be deployed, it is released in the market. And maintenance, once the product is deployed in the market, the client may want to update, or client or user if want any changement and updation, so that the product so that the maintenance part does this task. And also, when product users use the software, they may give feedback which should be resolved from time to time. So these are the maintenance team will do. So what is the need for SDLC? Is a method, approach, or process that is followed by the software development organization while developing any software. So SDLC models were introduced to follow a disciplined and systematic method while designing software. With the software development life cycle, the process of software design is divided into small parts, which makes this problem more understandable and easier to solve, where all the major steps are properly uh, categorized in different stages from initial to their final stage. And there are different types of SDLC models are there, like waterfall model and the prototype model, spiral model, evolutionary dep, uh, dep, development model, iterative enhancement model. So we will discuss one by one. First is waterfall model. So in waterfall model was first SDLC model to be used widely in software engineering to ensure success of the project. In this model, the whole process of software development is divided into separate phases. In this, the outcome of one phases act as the input for the next phases. Okay, sequentially. All the phases are cascaded to each other, in which progress is seen as flowing steadily downwards like a waterfall through the phases. The next phase is started only after the defined set of goals are achieved for previous phase and it is signed off. So the name waterfall model, in this model phase do not overlap. This is the waterfall model. First is feasibility, in which the phases are divided in different models. First is feasibility study, requirement analysis and specification, design, coding and unit testing, integration and system testing, and last is maintenance. So we will discuss one by one the different stages of waterfall model. First is requirement, uh, in which uh, the first phase involves gathering requirements from stakeholders and requirement analysis. The first phase involves gathering requirements from stakeholders and analyzing them to understand the scope and objective of the project. In the designing, once the requirements are understood, the design phase begins. This involves creating a detailed design document. Okay, in development, development phase includes the implementation involves coding the software based on the design specification, and is the testing, integration and system testing. uh, Software, uh, uh, when software is developed, we have to test all their uh, uh, stages from initial stage to final stage, so that the software will meet the uh, requirements of the client and can be achieve the standard. So deployment, once the software has been tested and approved, it is deployed to the production environment. Okay, and in maintenance, after the final phase of the waterfall model is maintenance, which involves fixing any issues that arise after the software has been deployed and ensuring that it continues to meet the requirement over time. When to use the waterfall SDLC models? Well defined requirements. When project requirements are clear, stable and uniquely to change significantly. small to medium size projects. Okay, for smaller projects with straightforward objectives and limited complexity are there. Mission critical system, in scenarios where it is crucial to have a well documented and predictable development process, especially for mission critical systems. What is the application of waterfall model? There are different types of application of waterfall model. First, that is, requirements are very well documented, clear and fixed in waterfall model. So product definition is stable, technology is understood and is not dynamic in nature. There are no ambiguous requirements, ample resources with required expertise are available to support the product, and the project is short. What are the advantages of waterfall model? It is simple and easy to understand for use, easy to manage due to rigidity of the model, and phases are processed and completed one at a time, and works well for smaller projects where requirements are very well understood and clearly defined stages where and well understood milestones are there, easy to arrange tasks, process and results are well documented. These are the some advantages of the waterfall model. And what is the disadvantages of this model? Where no working software is produced until late during the life cycle. High amount of risk and uncertainty are there. Not a good model for complex and object oriented projects where the complexity are very much high. So this model are not much more perfect. Poor model for long and ongoing project. If the project is very big and ongoing projects take too much time. Not suitable for the projects where requirements are at a moderate to high risk of changing. Okay, so risk and uncertainty is high with this process model. It is difficult to measure progress within stages, cannot accommodate changing requirements. Okay, these are the some basic advantages and disadvantages of waterfall model. Next model is iterative waterfall model. So in iterative waterfall model, this model is just like waterfall model. Unlike waterfall model, in this we can go back to the previous phase if any changes are required. The iterative model allows going not only to the previous phase but also allows accessing all of its earlier phases also. Due to its allowance to go back to the previous or earlier phases, it results in time saving, cost saving as well as effort saving, as we have to not start from the beginning again if any changes is required. We have to start the work from that stages, not the initial stages. Okay, it is also called advanced version of the waterfall model. So these are the phases of iterative waterfall model: feasibility study, requirement analysis and specification, design, coding and unit testing, integration and system testing, and maintenance. And what is the advantages of this and disadvantages of iterative model? What is advantage? This model is easy to understand and execute, and some working functionality can be developed quickly and early in the life cycle. Less costly to change the scope and requirements. Testing and debugging during smaller iterations are very easy. So, and what is the disadvantage? Requirement changes can cause over budget, and project completion date is not confirmed because of changing requirements. So these are the some advantages and disadvantages of iterative waterfall model. And next model is prototyping model. So in prototyping model, it is a software development model in which prototype is built, tested and reworked until an acceptable prototype is achieved. It is also create base to produce the final system or software. It works best in scenario where the project's requirements are known in detail. It is an iterative trial and error method which takes place between developer and client. These are the prototyping model phases. Okay. So thank you for the today lecture. We will discuss this prototyping model in the next video.